Chapter 26. Adelmo walked up to the door and hesitated about going inside to look around. He noticed it was getting late. It's now or never, he thought to himself. Desperate to return to Berlin, his heart racing with urgency, he instinctively reached for the door handle just as Lana was passing him the change from a customer purchasing a book. In that split second, a strange and powerful energy enveloped them both, pulling them into a mysterious trance-like state that seemed to transcend time and space. The world around them blurred as they were swept away into an unknown realm, their destinies intertwined in ways they could never have imagined. Adelmo and Lana witnessed the crowning of a king of the Roman-German Empire. They seemed so happy, cheering for their new king, when suddenly the day turned into night. The new king transformed into a werewolf right before their very eyes. Their new king was a beast. He howled as the transformation was complete. He gazed into the crowd with his tongue hanging out. The king saw everyone as if they were his dinner. He brought back in his tongue and howled again, pouncing on the closest victims, feasting on their flesh, shredding it into pieces. People started panicking and running out the doors, trampling the weak. Adelmo and Lana saw the king pouncing and shredding each peasant, one by one, as he finished them off. Adelmo and Lana snapped out of the trance and thought to himself, "That is it, I am done with the trances. There is too much history here, too much that has happened to enjoy anything." He figured it was getting late anyways. He then hollered for a taxi, and he headed back to the train station. Meanwhile, Lana closes up the store a little earlier than the normal days, just in case these trances continue to happen. She did all the closing routines like typical and headed home, trying to relax, also getting excited but also nervous to see what all the hype was about over there where Adelmo was at. She packed her stuff and relaxed for the rest of the evening. As Adelmo and the taxi arrived at the station, he handed over the fare to the driver and briskly walked towards the platform, only to find the train to Berlin cordoned off. Curious onlookers surrounded the area, trying to catch a glimpse of what was happening. Frustration crept into Adelmo's mind as he pondered on how he would make it back to Berlin now. He decided to leave his luggage at the station and approach the police officers, suggesting they contact the authorities in Berlin for more information. Anxious to return, Adelmo slipped away from the scene, muttering to himself, "Forget it." Despite the high cost, he knew he had to find a way back to Berlin as soon as possible. He grabs a taxi and says Berlin. The driver's eyes widened and said, "Berlin?" "Yes, please Berlin, and hurry." The driver attempted to engage in conversation with Adelmo, but his limited knowledge of English hindered any meaningful communication. Consequently, what was supposed to be a lengthy journey transformed into a silent one. Adelmo's mind was consumed by the vivid images he had witnessed during his trances, leaving him feeling overwhelmed. The sheer magnitude of it all could easily drive someone to the brink of insanity. As he reflected on the past, Adelmo paused and let out a chuckle, realizing how unimaginable it would have been to cope with such experiences back then. Constantly overwhelmed by the chaos surrounding him, he found himself grappling with unexpected situations more often than not in recent times. The journey back to Berlin was no exception, as the taxi driver, visibly shaken, abruptly dropped him off and sped away without taking his fare, leaving Adelmo stranded in a sea of dead bodies. Frantically calling out to the disappearing taxi, Adelmo realized the gravity of the situation as he observed the lifeless forms strewn across the streets. Puzzled by the scattered bodies instead of a single pile, he made his way back to his car, his mind racing with questions. After reaching his hotel, Adelmo sought solace in a hot shower and a change of clothes, trying to wash away the grim reality he had just witnessed. Sitting down to watch the news, he was taken aback by the developments that had transpired in his absence, prompting him to delve deeper into the mystery of the day's events. As he settles into his bed, desperately seeking comfort, he tosses and turns, his mind restless. Eventually, exhaustion takes over and he succumbs to a deep slumber, just like every other night. At the same time, Lana finds solace on her sofa, engrossed in the television. Slowly, her eyelids grow heavy, and she too drifts into a profound sleep. They both start dreaming. Interrupting the tranquility, Adelmo's voice pierces through the silence, demanding attention. Startled, she turns her gaze towards him, curiosity etched on her face. "Who are you?" she asks, her voice laced with a sense of divine purpose. "I am a messenger sent by God," she continues, her words carrying an air of authority. "And what brings you here?" Adelmo inquires, his voice tinged with a mix of confusion and intrigue. With unwavering conviction, she responds, "I have been tasked with purging the corruption that has infested certain areas. By eliminating these individuals, we can pave the way for a fresh start, a chance for purity to prevail." Adelmo finds himself caught in a whirlwind of uncertainty, unsure of the magnitude of the responsibility he has unwittingly taken on. Can he truly protect those who will be exposed to the impending storm? As he steals a glance at Lana, he notices a glimmer of fascination in her eyes. Abruptly, they awaken, their minds now filled with newfound knowledge of the unfolding events. Both rise from their slumber, a sense of purpose guiding their actions as they prepare themselves for the challenges that lie ahead. They dress for the day, ready to face the unknown with unwavering determination.